He joins us now, sharing her story. Natania, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999, and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days.
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she has to say, as well as those jurors.
After Jennifer Lopez was dragged into the Diddy lawsuit over allegedly being the gun mule in a 1999 nightclub shooting where Diddy and J.Lo allegedly made a rapper named Shine take the fall and spend 10 years in prison for them, people have started digging into her past, and it raises some questions.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
Law enforcement sources are expecting the feds to widen the Diddy probe to include previous criminal investigations. Now, we know Diddy was criminally investigated regarding that shooting in New York, but I didn't realize the extent of J.Lo's involvement.
Things are heating up fast for Jenny from the block. Jennifer Lopez might have been way more than just Diddy's ex. New claims suggest she could have actually been in on it. Cassie Ventura just dropped some serious bombs. And if the receipts are real, J.Lo might have played the role of an accomplice. We're talking wild stuff. Secret schemes, shady cover-ups, and even smuggling. And now J.Lo, she's basically vanished since Diddy's legal mess kicked off. People are starting to wonder if her silence speaks louder than words. Cassie took the stand in tears, saying Diddy made her carry a loaded gun in public and used her like a piece in his sick little game. But here's the kicker. This might not be the first time something like this happened. Word is, years ago, J.Lo may have helped cover up a crime tied to Diddy. A crime that reportedly got an innocent man locked up. So if Diddy's going down, guess who might be going with him? That's right, J.Lo. Now let's rewind the tape. Everyone knows Cassie and Diddy had a long and twisted history. She just testified that before hitting a club in L.A., Diddy handed her a loaded gun. She said she was crying, shaking, totally traumatized.
When she was on the stand, at times she became visibly upset, wiping away tears as she gave her evidence.
But it gets even darker. Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a complaint claiming that way back in 1999. Jennifer Lopez herself snuck a revolver into a New York nightclub for Diddy. That same night, 3 people got shot, including Natania Reuben, who caught a bullet to the face. It's crazy out here. Is it given ride or die? Yeah, but more like illegal ride or die. This whole thing is looking real shady. Diddy using the women around him like gun carriers. That's beyond reckless. And let's be real, J.Lo doesn't look so squeaky clean in all this. This ain't just some wrong place, wrong time type deal. This smells like real involvement.
As we talked about in the first part, there seems to be some misinformation or misunderstanding of what really went down in that trial, what was said, what people were blamed for, what they were not. I'd love to hear your perspective and specifically kind of what you wish people understood about that trial that maybe they don't at this time.
I mean, even from the very day that the thing took place, because if you notice their mugshots, only Shine truly has a mugshot. Puffy and J.Lo, Puffy's in front of a concrete wall, J.Lo is in front of a bulletin board in some old t-shirts. Now, I want everyone to think that was the night of the shooting. You don't think at Christmas time, Puffy and J.Lo went out in some old raggedy t-shirts, right? No, there was already a agenda afoot to conceal what they had on, to try to sway the minds of people, to throw your memory off, but they couldn't throw my memory off.
Like we mentioned earlier, this goes way deeper than people think. There's a lot of twisted info floating around about what really happened during that trial, who was blamed, who wasn't, and what actually went down. A lot of people still don't understand the full story, and that's the scary part. What should be clear is that this wasn't just some mix-up. Here's the jaw-dropper. According to testimony from Diddy's own driver, J.Lo pointed the finger at Shine Barrow that night, claiming he was the shooter. If that's true, then she didn't just bring the gun. She allegedly helped Diddy frame Shine for a crime he might not have even done. For those who don't know, Shine ended up with a serious prison sentence, and he's been speaking out for years, saying Diddy threw him under the bus and was never really his boy. And guess what? Gene Deal, the former head of Bad Boy Security, even claimed Diddy hated Shine. So this framing theory, It's not so far-fetched.
That's real talk. But I gotta ask you, right? I seen a trailer for a Sean documentary that you in. How did that come about, you being in that documentary?
Well, I was there during that whole trial with Sean and Puff. Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blake. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
But here's where it gets even dirtier. Diddy allegedly handpicked the witnesses for that 1999 trial. People say he stacked the whole courtroom in his favor, and multiple insiders claim she was in on it too. If that's true, this ain't just drama, this is next-level deception. Behind closed doors, it's claimed Diddy and J.Lo went full undercover mode, training witnesses to say exactly what they needed, and get this, allegedly even buying off jurors.
Anybody that was there, I know this young lady said Puff did the shooting. What I was told by Wolf himself, and he spoke very little about it, because he had mad love for Sean.
This wasn't just damage control. It was a full-blown operation to bury Shine for good. After all that chaos, Diddy and J.Lo dipped out like nothing ever happened. No consequences, no questions. Just vanished into the Hollywood fog. And then, Diddy tossed J.Lo aside like she was just another pawn in his twisted little chess game.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
But let's be honest, both of them got what they wanted. He kept his secrets. She got her clean image. Now, you might be asking, why didn't J.Lo testify when this whole thing went down? She was right there, wasn't she? Well, here's the wildest twist of all. According to Jaguar Wright, the same industry insider known for spilling major A-list, J.Lo and Diddy secretly got married around the time of the 1999 nightclub shooting. And no, it wasn't out of some fairy tale romance. Jaguar says the whole thing was strategic, not emotional. Here's the move. If J.Lo was Diddy's legal wife, she couldn't be forced to testify against him in court. That's a known legal loophole in Hollywood, and they allegedly used it like pros. Thanks to that secret marriage, Diddy locked up his secrets tighter than Fort Knox, and J.Lo, she skipped the courtroom drama completely. No testimony, no charges, no stains.
Sean caused a lot of that stuff himself. And Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blake. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
Wow, you never told me about that, man. You seen how Flex, he came out calling Sean a liar?
Well, I think Funkmaster Flex has every right to say what he said because he know a little bit more than most.
Even though there's no official marriage record, Jaguar swears the ceremony did happen. If true, that's a masterclass in playing the system. Word on the street is that J.Lo might have been doing way more than just attending fancy Hollywood parties. Reports say she was spotted at some of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. These weren't your average celeb get-togethers. One complaint even claimed that a well-known female celeb witnessed one of those wild nights where a 13-year-old was allegedly forced to be there. Now let's be crystal clear. No one's saying that celeb was J.Lo, but the rumors are ringing loud. And here's what's hard to ignore. J.Lo's name is popping up everywhere lately. Court records, lawsuits, and even buried witness testimonies from back in the day. Her connection to all this is looking less like a coincidence and more like a pattern. But hold up, it gets even more disturbing. Misha, another woman who's come forward, dropped a chilling story. She claims she was at one of those same freak-off parties. And not only was J.Lo in the building, she was right there in the spotlight while Diddy allegedly subjected Misha to some seriously traumatic stuff. Misha said she made eye contact with J.Lo in the middle of it all, begging her silently for help. And what did she get back? Nothing. No reaction. Just a cold, blank stare. That's the kind of moment you don't forget.
I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy, and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. she stuck that glass in me, and after that, but my eyes were booked the whole time.
If what Misha says is true, J.Lo's got a lot of explaining to do. Watching something like that go down and not lifting a finger, that's heavy. And for those thinking this is just a one-off situation, think again. This isn't the first time J.Lo's name has been tied to some dark circles. Years ago, her ex-husband Ojani Noah spilled his own set of secrets. He didn't just say she showed up at these events. He claims she was deeply involved. He even said she should be questioned about those alleged tapes floating around. You know, the ones tied to Diddy, secret cameras, and yes, baby oil. This mess? It's only getting deeper. He didn't hold back at all. Ojani Noah made it loud and clear. J.Lo is not the same person behind closed doors as the glam queen we see on red carpets. According to him, she knew exactly what was going on at those freak-off parties, and she didn't seem to care one bit. Sure, exes sometimes talk out of spite. We've all seen that, but this ain't about heartbreak or cheating. This feels way deeper. Now, when you line up all these claims, Ojani's explosive allegations, Misha's terrifying story, Cassie's emotional testimony, and the lawsuits stacking like dominoes, it's getting harder to believe J.Lo was just some innocent bystander caught in the chaos. The puzzle pieces? They're clicking into place fast. And here's the jaw-dropper. As part of a federal investigation into Diddy, 2 law enforcement sources reportedly told the New York Post in 2024 that they're considering reopening the 1999 nightclub shooting case. If that happens, J.Lo's name, which is all over those old records, might get pulled right into the courtroom spotlight. She could actually be facing a trial. Social media is already lit up with people connecting the dots. One user even said it best: the public always knew Jennifer Lopez was carrying it for him. Let's be real, J.Lo's talent was never in question. She's got vocals, sure, but folks have always wondered how her fame skyrocketed so fast. And now, that rise might finally make sense, for all the wrong reasons. And just when you think this mess couldn't get any messier, boom, another twist. Sui, a source close to the scene, dropped a bomb in an interview. He said J.Lo and Ben Affleck's rocky marriage wasn't just about distance or arguments. No, according to him, it was something way heavier. The feds allegedly showed Ben a tape of J.Lo and Diddy at one of those freak-off parties. Now that's the kind of footage that could break more than just a marriage. Now just picture this: Ben Affleck sitting down, thinking he's about to watch some evidence for a federal case, only to find out that his wife, the woman he just rekindled a whole love story with, is allegedly right there at one of Diddy's wild, off-the-wall private parties. Yeah, those parties. Reports say after seeing that footage, Ben couldn't even look at her the same way again. And honestly, who could blame him?
He on the news team. Did y'all hear about what's his name? Suge Knight? He said, baby, he think the reason why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck broke up because he feels that they had some tapes at Diddy's mansion that showing her in a compromising position, and that the FBI allegedly may have sent those tapes to Ben Affleck. You know, Ben Affleck is a white man in America, and he's a very prominent man. They say he's a darling, which means people love him.
Let's be real. This isn't some dusty old tabloid rumor from a decade ago. This is recent, and the timeline's speaking volumes. Right after the feds raided Diddy's homes, things between J.Lo and Ben started falling apart fast. No more couple appearances, no more cozy photos. Suddenly, she's back on red carpets all by herself, and that chemistry, gone, cold, weird body language. Now, they're not even married anymore. J.Lo's polished image, always quiet, always graceful in front of the cameras, is starting to crack. These court docs and testimonies are painting a very different story. This isn't a rom-com anymore. This is looking more like a criminal case. And honestly, with all the heat coming down, it's no surprise she's gone ghost. People are seriously asking, where is J.Lo? And then there's Cassie. Her testimony just keeps getting darker. She's exposing everything. How Diddy allegedly tried to own her entire life. He paid for her home, her car, even her phone. And if she stepped out of line, he'd snatch it all back like it was nothing. Total control, like she was property, not a person. So now, with all this unraveling, folks are side-eyeing everyone in his circle, especially those who stayed silent or stood by him during those twisted years. And J.Lo, her name just keeps popping up. In her heartbreaking courtroom testimony, Cassie made it clear. Diddy's obsession with control wasn't just about her music or how she dressed. It was everything. And that control, it didn't stay verbal. It turned violent, real violent. On the stand, Cassie broke down in tears as she described being kicked, dragged, knocked over, and even hit in the head by him. She said she had black eyes, busted lips, and knots on her forehead. This wasn't just toxic, it was straight up terrifying. But things hit an even darker level when prosecutors started digging into the infamous freak-off parties. Cassie testified that Diddy brought her into that twisted world during the first year of their relationship. She claimed he would hire strippers and male escorts and make her sleep with them while he just watched. And it wasn't some one-night thing. Some of these so-called sessions went on for 4 days straight.
She said that they were so exhausting, she needed a recovery period from uses of drugs and the physical exhaustion of the activities at play.
Cassie said she started doing it because she wanted to make him happy, but it slowly destroyed her from the inside. She told the court, "I felt fairly bad about myself." She looked crushed as she admitted, "I felt useless." That shame led her down a darker path. She turned to drugs just to cope. Cassie said she used ketamine, ecstasy, weed, and more. Anything to mentally check out while her body was trapped in the nightmare. And it gets even worse. She claimed she didn't want to be intimate with these people, but Diddy planned everything. He allegedly gave her step-by-step orders to find the men, escorts, dancers, and strippers. And after they performed, he'd pay them anywhere between $1,500 and $6,000. According to Cassie, they found these men through stripper agencies and even Craigslist-style sites. That's how deep and disturbing this setup was. This wasn't some high-life fantasy. It was a nightmare wrapped in money and silence. Some of the men involved, like Daniel Phillip, have already testified in court, with some even being identified using photos shown to the jury.
Said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak off, the freak off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to the said freak-off?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs.
That's when J.Lo's name pops right back up. And let's be real, no one can say she didn't know what was going on. She dated Diddy before the chaos hit full blast. She was right there during his most unhinged era, so this darker side of him, she definitely saw it. Now, rumor has it J.Lo is seriously shook about the idea of being dragged into this case. Word on the street is, she's been dodging a subpoena, like her life depends on it. Some even claim she fled to a country without an extradition treaty just in case things hit the fan. Because let's face it, the walls are closing in on Diddy fast, and if the feds start pulling the guest lists and digging deeper into who was present at these shady events, J.Lo might be next in line. The question now is, was she helping him behind the scenes all along? Or is she just another person caught in the blast zone of his empire, collapsing? We want to hear from you. Do you think J.Lo's about to be the next big name exposed in this wild scandal? Was she just turning a blind eye? Or was she fully in the mix? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't hold back, because this story is getting wilder by the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Because trust me, with the way things are going, anyone could be next in the Diddy downfall. See y'all in the next one.